Good evening, everybody. Thank you. Woo! You know, it's so great looking out and seeing all the familiar faces and new faces. Really touched, really touched. If you're new to the cause here this evening, would love to get an opportunity to shake your hand and meet you. So I'll be around after the show. Normally, as I give my talk here this evening, I like to speak really from the heart. But as we celebrate 10 years tonight, I took a little bit different approach and actually wrote out my speech here. It also helps that I wasn't delivering my second baby the night before, like last year. But I'd like to start by asking a question for everyone to kind of think on here, and that's what happens when a health situation turns your life upside down? Dreams are crushed, financial pressures mount, tears are shed, and hearts are broken, and many prayers are said. If I had to guess, many of you sitting here tonight are familiar with this type of situation, or you know someone that has gone through a challenge. I also know there are others that wish they could be here tonight, but can't because they're in the midst of a battle. And for those people, keep on fighting. While navigating these health challenges filled with agony, despair, and isolation, a shared vine that we're all reaching out to grab is hope. Ladies and gentlemen, this grasp for hope is what launched Achieving Cures Together in 2015. Prior to starting Achieving Cures Together, I was a 20-year-old living out my dreams as a college football player when severe ulcerative colitis turned my life upside down. In less than 2 years, I went from a 235-pound linebacker playing in the Big Ten down to 148 pounds, 30-plus bowel movements a day. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. Life was living hell. And not to mention, on top of that, the psychological toll of just being sidelined from my passion of football. While suffering this immense pain, I was searching for anyone or anything to help me. And that is where I found a glimmer of hope with Dr. Alexander Kortz, who you'll be hearing from later this evening. Dr. Kortz was pioneering a new field of medicine focused on the gut microbiome and restoring our microbial communities that are often decimated through our diet, some environmental factors, and some other things. Seeing this new and exciting frontier and personally benefiting from it, we launched Achieving Cures Together to help accelerate this work. We started with humble beginnings. It's hard to believe that we're now celebrating 10 years, which really got me thinking, what did the world look like 10 years ago? Well, first off, 10 years ago I had no gray hair, and the Vikings lost a home playoff game on a missed 27-yard field goal in negative 6-degree weather. Classic Minnesota heartbreak. 10 years ago also marks the launch of the Apple Watch, which I'm sure many of you are wearing this evening. And hard to believe, but in 2015, the word of the year was actually an emoji. The hit movie Back to the Future, which came out in 1985, was actually referring to the future as 2015. So they were dreaming of hoverboards and flying cars, and we still are today. Lastly, the song Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran was number 2 on the Billboard 100. And I was going to sing it for you all tonight, but I'm not going to. Instead, I'd like to think out loud as it relates to Achieving Cures Together and what's been accomplished over the last 10 years. During the past 10 years, Achieving Cures Together has partnered with the University of Minnesota Microbiota Therapeutics Program, and together, we've accomplished a lot. Notably, we've helped on the encapsulation of gut microbes, where you're able to do a microbial transplant with a capsule instead of a colonoscopy, far less invasive. We didn't stop there, and they now have a formula to add to a drink, where you can mix the powder and do the microbial transplant that way, especially for children or people who have difficulty swallowing pills. During this time, we've helped treat over 8,000 patients suffering from the antibiotic-resistant superbug C. difficile. Not only are these 8,000 patients saved, but so are their families and their significant others. Further, we've helped support over 25 clinical trials, some of which you'll hear about this evening. And none of this would have been done without the help and support of each and every one of you. So thank you. As with any pioneering effort, we have faced resistance as well, and we keep persevering. 10 years is truly a milestone worth celebrating. However, longevity is not what we started Achieving Cures together for. We started ACT to accomplish and to find cures. And folks, this is exactly what we're doing. So, it's my pleasure now to introduce Christie Lansdowne, who will be sharing about some of the exciting things that are happening with Achieving Cures together.
Thank you. Today, we are proud to celebrate 10 years of impact through Achieving Cures together. We are profoundly thankful for your partnership in supporting breakthroughs that are reshaping patient care and the future of medicine. Over the past 10 years, your support of $3.2 million has translated to the production of over 65,000 microbiota treatments that have been used to treat 8,000 patients with recurrent C. difficile infections and support clinical trials targeting over 25 separate health conditions. These clinical trials span across antibiotic resistance, cancer recovery, cardiovascular health, digestive system disorders, the gut-brain connection, and immune system disorders. As we look forward to the next decade, ACT has several exciting initiatives underway that are advancing our mission, and I'll highlight 3 tonight. 2 of our research partners, Dr. Adams and Dr. Kramalnik-Brown at Arizona State University, are making incredible progress in microbiota transplant therapy research in patients with autism. They have discovered that 90% of patients with autism have extremely elevated levels of toxic microbial metabolites that come from gut bacteria and yeast. They also have developed a urine test that has been highly successful in screening patients with autism through testing for these toxic yeast and toxic yeast and microbial metabolites. In their first clinical trial, Dr. Adams and Dr. Kramalnik-Brown demonstrated that one of these toxic metabolites, P-cresol, was reduced after microbiota transplant therapy. There is a phase 2 clinical trial underway for patients with autism to further study these connections. And fundraising for a pivotal phase 3 clinical trial, the final step required to seek FDA approval for microbiota transplant therapy, is also underway. You can learn more directly from our research partners through a webinar that's on our website as well. ACT is also thrilled to announce that we're partnering with Dr. Levi Teigen, a nutrition expert, to develop a book. It's designed to answer the most common question we receive: how do we eat to support our gut health? Dr. Teigen, who's here with us this evening, received unparalleled clinical and research training with Drs. Koritz and Vaughn at the University of Minnesota, and will be translating that experience and knowledge into a practical and accessible book for everyone. While we're still in the early stages of development, we're hoping to include information on management of some common diet-related struggles, as well as partner with experienced chefs to translate what you're learning to what you eat. The ACT community has also driven momentous progress in inflammatory bowel disease research. Through a generous donation match, ACT is fully funding the first year of a phase 2 ulcerative colitis clinical trial, led by Dr. Byron Vaughn, who's here with us tonight. Dr. Vaughn is a leader in IBD research at the University of Minnesota, and this trial is currently finalizing regulatory approval before beginning patient recruitment. You can learn more. We're hosting a webinar on October 21st at 6 p.m. Featuring Dr. Vaughn. And so if you're interested in signing up, we've got a QR code at the check-in desk, or you can register on our website. The future of medicine is unfolding now, As we enter the next frontier of modern medicine, microbiota transplant therapy is offering new hope and life-changing impact in patient lives. Tonight, you'll have the opportunity to hear firsthand from a patient who's experienced microbiota transplant therapy, as well as from our esteemed research partners, and see what your support has meant to patients and their families, and learn how far this research has come. It is my pleasure to introduce one of the leading scientists in microbiota transplant therapy research. Dr. Alexander Koritz, director of the University of Minnesota's Microbiota Therapeutics program, has not only pioneered the development of microbiota transplant therapies, but is also the steady, calming presence who provides us full attention and care to each patient. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.